15. The design of the F40 model was just performance, and the luxury aspect would be for other models. The F40 model was not produced to be a race car, but a street car in 1987. The model was the last Ferrari approved by Enzo Ferrari in the old-fashioned way, with an emphasis on performance and handling. In that same car, the windows were replaced by polycarbonate resin, Lexan. There was no radio, no air conditioning, no doorknob. Early models had a sliding window to cool the cabin. The model appeared in response to the launch of the Porsche 959. All the customization of the car was aimed at reducing weight to 1,110 kilos. 14. The color red was not Ferrari's idea. The International Automobile Federation, in the 1920s, determined that in the early days of the Grand Prix's existence, all Italian racing cars would have to be red, French blue, German silver, Dutch orange, Belgian yellow, the English green and the North American white. Rosso Scuderia painting is not the result of an irreverent marketing idea, just an adaptation to the forces of circumstance. 13. In June 2018, the 1964 250 GTO became the most expensive car in history, setting a sales record of $70 million. The numerical part of the name stands for Gran Turismo Omologata. In 1962, sales of the model in the United States were complex. Buyers had to be personally approved by Enzo Ferrari. In order for the model to participate in the FIA GT races, it had to have 100 normal units produced. But even though Ferrari failed to reach 100 units, the model participated in the race. In 2012, the model was sold for $35 million, becoming the most expensive car in the world. With the end of World War II and the fall of the Mussolini regime, the Ferrari brand was founded, with the launch of its first road model in 1947. The model launched that year was the Ferrari 125 Sport, with a 1500 V12 engine cc. It was tested and driven by Franco Cortese, the first Ferrari driver, in chronological order. In addition to being the first with the Ferrari brand, it was also the last car to enter the tracks with the old Alfa Romeo Racing red color that has always characterized Scuderia Ferrari cars. Later, the Maranello team permanently adopted the red Fiat Race, later better known as Rosso Ferrari, for their cars. Ferrari is the most victorious and successful team in F1 history. At the 2007 China Grand Prix, the team achieved an incredible 200 GP triumphs. Ferrari is the oldest remaining team in the championship and is also the most successful. The team holds almost all of the Formula One records. The team records include 15 Drivers' World Championship titles: 1952, 1953, 1956, 1958, 1961, 1964, 1975, 1977, 1979, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2007, 16 World Constructors' Championship titles: 1961, 1964, 1975, 1976, 1977, 1979, 1982, 1983, 1999, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2007 and 2008, 238 Grand Prix victories, 331.50 points, 708 podiums, 228 pole positions, 254 fastest laps, 1,124 laps led, in addition to being the first and only team to have more than 1,000 Grands Prix. 10. Scuderia Ferrari was founded by Enzo Ferrari in 1929 and became the Alfa Romeo Racing Team. In 1938, Alfa Romeo made the decision to enter racing under its own name, establishing the Alfa Corse organization, which absorbed what had been Ferrari. Enzo Ferrari did not agree with this change in policy and was finally dismissed by Alfa in 1939. In 1940, Alfa Romeo is absorbed by Mussolini's government and used as a standard bearer for his government. At this time, Scuderia Ferrari, prevented from entering automotive competitions, started to build accessories for airplanes and parts for machines. With the end of World War II and the fall of the Mussolini regime, the Ferrari brand was founded. Merchandise. Ferrari, an exorbitant business, operates in clothing, accessories and watches niches with the brand Scuderia. All this makes the brand very broad in other areas of the market, such as clothing and style. She plans to get into the fashion theme to keep up with trends, further increasing the reach of merchandising. Ferrari has achieved limitless international prestige. The symbol of the horse is the translation of notoriety and excellence, characteristics consolidated by the brand's marketing. Only in merchandise, items related to the brand, Ferrari makes around $1.5 billion a year, which translates into approximately 1.37 billion euros. From clothes to watches, from sunglasses to cell phone cases and collectible cars, the catalog seems endless. And these aren't exactly cheap items. A 1:8 scale replica of the Ferrari F14T costs $5,400, €4,936. Sunglasses cost over $200, €183. It all comes together to strengthen Ferrari's position as one of the most valuable car brands in the world. There are two Ferrari theme parks. Ferrari World is an amusement park located on Yes Island in Abu Dhabi, UAE. Its owners claim that the development is the largest indoor theme park in the world. The park is owned by Aldar Properties. It is also managed by Ferrari Leisure Parks Management LLC and the Deep Management Group Incorporated. The venue was officially opened to the public on November 4, 2010. Ferrari World covers an area of 86,000 square meters. In the Persian Gulf region there are a lot of Ferrari fans. In rich Arab areas, more Ferrari cars are sold than in any other part of the world. In Abu Dhabi, the first Ferrari theme park opened, the Ferrari World, in 2010, with 4 roller coasters, one of which is inspired by F1 racing, and is the one that reaches the highest speed in the world, 240 kilometers per hour. People over the age of 21 can even drive on the streets of the Isle of Yas, where Ferrari World is located. Enormous success that determined the opening, last April, of the second Ferrari World in Tarragona, near Barcelona. It promises to be this summer's madness. 7 Ferrari drivers have won more than 5,000 professional races. Drivers behind the wheel of Ferrari models have won more than 5,000 professional races. Since the first achievement in 1947, more than 5,000 trophies bear the Ferrari stamp, including 15 Formula One world titles, 17 awards as Best Formula One Constructor, 14 achievements as Best Sports Car Manufacturer, 9 victories in the Le Mans race, 8 and 7 wins in the races of Mille Miglia and Targa Florio, respectively. In total, there are 216 victories for the brand in the Formula One Grand Prix. The imperious machines are joined by fabulous drivers, demonstrating the power of Ferrari in mechanical engineering and in the rigor of the recruitment process. Six Ferrari inauguration postponed by World War II. Enzo Ferrari, a man full of ambitions and dreams, left the framework of Alfa Romeo, where he was part of the Alfa Corse racing department, to found his own brand. In 1939, when he gathered enough financial conditions and confidence to set out on the adventure in his own name, he faced the setback imposed by the beginning of World War II and postponed the inauguration of Ferrari. The 125S, the brand's first model, debuted in March 1947, 2 years after the end of the war. Only 2 models of the first Ferrari were produced. Despite the success of the first Ferrari model, the aforementioned 125S, only 2 units of the car were produced. Driven by Franco Cortese, the 125S made its debut at the Piacenza circuit in what Enzo Ferrari later described as a failed promise. A fuel pump failure dictated Franco Cortese's premature departure from the track, while the driver was at home. In the lead of the race, The turbulent start was followed by a brilliant campaign at the Grand Prix of Rome in 1947 and winning 6 out of 13 races that same year. Unfortunately, the 2 units of this model were dismantled by Ferrari to use parts for the other subsequent models of the brand. Enzo Ferrari has stayed close to his hometown. Born in Modena, Italy, Enzo Ferrari has not strayed from his origins. He traveled the world with his racing team and for issues related to the Ferrari business, but lived his whole life between Modena and Maranello. Ferrari's first factory was in Modena, and the current Ferrari headquarters are located in this city, where there is also a museum of the brand. Ferrari boosted tourism in these cities, with tourists coming from all over the world to visit these attractions of Il Cavallino Rampante. Three Fiat-controlled Ferrari, once a family business. In 1969, Enzo Ferrari sold 50% of the company to the Italian manufacturer Fiat, in a transaction that granted Ferrari the capital at the time necessary for the brand. Shortly before his death, in 1988, Enzo Ferrari and his son Piero Ferrari sold an even larger percentage, so the family owned only 10% of Ferrari. Two symbol is homage to war pilot. The team is named after its founder, Enzo Ferrari. The rampant horse was the symbol of the plane of pilot Francesco Baracca, who died in World War I, and soon after became the Ferrari logo after the aviator's parents, good friends of Enzo Ferrari, asked him to continue their tradition of chivalry, sportsmanship and daring. All elements of a Ferrari can be customized. Any element of a Ferrari can be customized according to the customer's taste. The tailor-made program allows the buyer to customize their vehicle, in a process that takes place at the factory in Maranello, Italy. From interior decorations to accessories and tire treads, the choice is up to the consumer. Once the customization process is finished, the customer waits up to 2 years for the arrival of their vehicle. Celebrities like guitarist Eric Clapton and golfer Ian Poulter joined the show and created a Ferrari 100% to their liking. You can buy stocks, trade, or use your bitcoins to buy one of the latest Ferraris. With 0.011 bitcoins you will acquire a Ferrari 812 traction, rear traction max speed, 340 km per hour power, 800 HP engine, 6.5 lv12 acceleration from 0 to 100 km per hour, 3 seconds dimensions, 4.693 mm LX 1.971 mm WX 1.278 mm H fuel tank, 92L.